Hello, everybody. It's good to see you, and I'm glad you're here with me today. I'm real excited about this lesson in particular because it has to do with parables. And right now I'm teaching a class on the parables on Tuesday nights, which anyone is welcome to join. You just go to bethelwindsor.com and click on Zoom meetings. And down there is the login or the link for the Zoom meeting Tuesday nights at 7. But you kind of wonder, why did Jesus teach in parables? Well, there's stories, and we kind of can identify with stories, and we remember stories. And but where does Jesus get that? Well, it's a very Jewish thing to teach with parables and stories about things. And listen to this in Psalm 78. And it says this, 78 verse 2. For I will speak to you in a parable. I will teach you hidden lessons from our past, stories we have heard and known, stories our ancestors handed down to us. We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord and his power and his mighty wonders. So there you go. Even in Psalms, Jesus, that I will speak to you in parables. And Jesus' disciples ask him in Matthew 13, 10 through 15 and 34 through 35. They ask him, why do you teach in parables? And Jesus later will describe to them that Jesus never spoke. They'll talk about Jesus and say Jesus never spoke to them without using such parables. So it's something Jesus constantly did. So why a parable? And what are the what's the main points of the parable? Well, the parables, if you look at the parables, they are categorized under, usually, not always, but usually under 5 things. Under the topic of least, under the topic of last, of the topic of least, last, lost, dead. If you look at the parables, there's something lost, lost coin, a lost sheep, the lost son, and the prodigal son. There's something last. You got to be last. Jesus constantly telling us if we want to be greatest, we need to be last. If we want to be a master or in charge of all, we need to be servants of all. Dead. A seed goes into the ground and dies and comes up and bears much fruit. Of course, Jesus is talking about his resurrection, but also ours too. So the parables teach us that it's all about us becoming less and God becoming more. And that is the hardest thing for us ever, because we want everything centered around ourselves. We may not say that we want that, but that's exactly what we want. In fact, I know when I preach the gospel, the next thing somebody's going to say is, well, I have to do something. And basically, that's the old Adam standing up and saying, you're going to make this about me somehow, right? And I'm going to say, no, this is about God and what God does. And the secret to spirituality is not becoming more spiritual or better. The secret to spirituality is becoming less, becoming least, becoming lost, becoming last, dying to yourself. And what that does is it allows God to work instead of you in your life and in your world. That doesn't mean you're going to sit on the couch and eat bonbons. That means that the Holy Spirit's going to work in your life and you're going to move out in a powerful way, but not because you feel you need to, but because you're going to want to. Because the Holy Spirit's going to motivate and change you. See, we always think that nothing will happen unless we make it happen. But what happens if that isn't true? That let's say nothing will happen unless God makes it happen in our lives, in our world, in everything. And so our role, our job is to let go and let God do what God's going to do. And that's the problem that the Israelites had in the Old Testament that we have today, is that we always want to be in charge and we always want to make it about us. I want you to notice that in the lesson that I read, the very last verse, it says, "We will not hide these truths from children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord," his deeds, not ours, "and his power and his mighty wonders." It's about God. And back in the garden, we took the fruit and we made it about us. First thing we noticed is that we were naked. We were self-centered now. We were focused on ourselves. And we made it about us. And the gospel is about making it about God again. And us, we humans, going back to the position we're supposed to be in, which is looking to God to do all things, depending on God, and knowing that the Holy Spirit will work in our lives and our world, and will eventually save us even from death. So I hope you can today kind of let him relax and put God in the place of God and you in the place of a person, and trust and look to God instead of yourself for the things that need to happen today. It's a much more relaxing situation when you're not trying to control everything. So let go of stuff and let God take care of it. All right, God bless. Have a good day.